Let me ask you a question, okay?
Yeah.
Are you you know the story about Malcolm X and stuff, right?
Yes.
It's a sensitive topic
Okay.
because I have YouTube going crazy because I was setting up a debate about Malcolm X. I had a show on my platform and a guy had some, some interesting words to say about how the NOI might have treated him or if they would justify and treat him the way they did or whatever, whatever. So I'm having a debate, and it's a lot of people on YouTube. If you go on YouTube and put Queenzflip and Malcolm X, a lot of videos coming up, and people, they're in the middle.
I mean, what did you say?
I just said that I'm gonna have a debate, and they're like, yo, who am I to
Excuse
put a debate about Malcolm X? But I feel like a lot of kids these days don't know about Malcolm X. In the schools, when I was coming up, they talked about Malcolm X, but my son and the younger generation, they don't talk about Malcolm X anymore in the schools.
Okay.
So after, talking about a debate is just saying that, what he did for the country and what he was to the people. And also, was the NOI justified in doing what they did if they did it allegedly?
Okay. I mean,
So,
it's still a lot of people are still alive in that era, and
yes.
it's still a sensitive subject.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
Man, some of that stuff you gotta duck, and and people are gonna be caught. It's gonna be 50-50. And then again, you can't talk to people. You can't have real debate about something. And then my thing is, if somebody's not here to defend themselves, you really can't talk about it. Now we're just speculating.
Mm.
Nobody came forward and said they killed him. Nobody came forward and said they did this. Nobody came. So we just speculating all the way around.
Mm.
And as he's not alive here to defend himself. So I just think, you'll just keep a lot of stuff swirling and swirling and swirling around. And you'll never get to you never get a definitive answer about anything.
Mm. Respect. Respect.
And it's a sense, I mean, a lot of people are still alive from that era. A lot of people know a lot of things. It's still a sensitive subject.
I understand.
But I think a lot of people should do their research and just look into it. Go by. The house is still there. You ever see where he's holding the AK-47?
In Queens.
Yeah, that house is still there.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the house is still there. It's on 97th Street between 23rd and 24th Avenue on East Elmhurst, Queens. The house is still there. It's still owned. If I'm correct, it's still owned by the nation. But the house is still there.
Mm. Mm.
So what's your next topic?
But that was what we was talking about. You know what I mean? My next topic is about, my park is what I was doing, but that's what we was talking about. And some of the people in the NOI, I heard they responded. They're not too happy. But,
Yeah, it's a sensitive subject, man. It's
I
a real
respect it.
sensitive, it's a real sensitive subject. But, like anything, we need conversation to talk about any and everything. It's a healthy debate to be able to talk about everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's never no disrespect. That's just me. But you don't know. Like you said, it's a sensitive subject. You got to be mindful. You got to be careful when it comes to things like that. You have to be. I would never disrespect, especially where, the family come from. I would never disrespect, Malcolm or disrespect the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But, sometimes we have questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I can't see. So what, people took it as a disrespect, like you was
They
disrespecting
no, they
somebody?
were just they were just no. Because I did a podcast with a guy named Saad Netta,
Okay.
and Saad Netta is a guy that he used to be on he's on 125th a lot, and he's part of the conscious community. So and then there was a brother named Garfield on my platform with Saad Netta saying that they had proof as far as like Malcolm. The newspaper said Malcolm might have set his own house on fire. And they were just saying things, and I'm just like, I'm listening to this, not them, but this brother Garfield. I'm like, you know what? We need to have a debate about this because what you're saying, I don't think it's true, and that's how it came up. So people
Okay.
were responding. They thought that we were having a debate to disrespect the brother, but never disrespect the brother. The brother was great.
Oh no, they thought you were trying to disrespect Malcolm X.
Yeah, or disrespect
So
Elijah Muhammad.
you was just
Because
having a healthy
no,
conversation.
no, 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 no. And I did say they were arguing me because I did say they were saying that Malcolm X made a lie about the girls and and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So that some people got mad about that.
Oh, they said he's the one who kept it saying, start saying all this stuff.
They saying that Malcolm X. No, a guy said that the guy on the platform said that Malcolm X lied on the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that the girls were of age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's how it started. So, you know, but you know, Uncle E, I'm gonna be respectful and be, you know, be peaceful. I never
William
want
Pelt said
huh?
people are not too far. They used to that Elijah Muhammad was a rapist. Wow. No, I don't know about all that.
Yeah, I'm saying. Do you know about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Of course, may Allah be pleased with him. Of course, but you know, I mean, I guess your guy in the William Pelzer said one thing. You know, there's two sides of the story. Then there's the Quran, and the Quran is always right. So you know, all that other stuff, man, you know, goes over my head.
Respect, Uncle E. Respect.
Yeah, you know, I don't get into he said, she said. I wasn't there. I didn't witness nothing, you know, no silliness or anything else like that. But you know, a lot of people, you know, were there and speculating and this and that. I'm not one of those kind of people.
Yeah, you don't speculate.
No,
You never speculated. So
no,
sound
you
like I'm in
can't. You can't do that.
you hear that noise? Sound like I'm in the projects.
Well, ain't nothing wrong with the projects. Shit, it's a time to be in the project. You need some project heat right about now. It's so cold
Nah,
outside.
I ain't in the projects, man. Nah, I'm just saying I gotta. Yeah.
Why you say you're in the projects?
No,
That's
the
the
noise.
radiator.
Yeah, the radiator. Yeah, the old school joint.
Uh, Shit, look like you getting a couple of dollars back there, man. You got Christmas balls back there. What's going
Nah,
on back there?
stop it, please. Stop it, please. Chill. My business.
Huh? Come
Okay,
on, man.
don't
But you
count my.
back there in my background.
Don't
So,
count.
oh, see, I see. Here we go, man. That is so wrong, Flip, man. Now I say something about yours. Now you want to cut the interview. Now you got technical difficulties.
Don't count my money.
I didn't count your money.
Uncle E, you never count people money. Don't tell me you start now.
No, I said you got beautiful ornaments and stuff in the back. That's all I said.
Mm. But you know, thank you, Uncle E. You know, people just take this stuff very serious, though, man. People take it very serious when it
They
comes
should. They
to
should.
yeah.
They should.
But my main thing is that why get mad at me and not protest? Well, I guess. I mean, you know, I said they're not teaching about Malcolm in the schools and stuff. I don't know. It is what it is. I feel like the younger audience, a lot of the younger audience don't really know about Malcolm X. I asked. They know about Martin Luther King. You know, and Malcolm X is a great man, so I never want to, you know, it's just I feel like people have displaced anger.
But let me ask a question.
Sure.
Let me ask a question. See how you just said that younger generation don't understand who Malcolm X is?
Mm-hmm.
So you know that you're still responsible for that too. You gotta teach your kids. You gotta teach your cousins, your nephews, and the kids that's under you. You gotta teach them about that kind of stuff too. So you are
Understand.
responsible for the bad actions. You know that people are not listening. People are not talking about Malcolm, and they're not talking about Marcus Garvey. Not talking about
Mm.
everybody else that came before us.
Mm.
But everybody's so quick to jump on social media. But we
Like
gotta,
Glenn said, all they gotta do is read. Yeah, Glenn, they've been telling
yeah.
me to
But
read.
people don't want to read, man.
Glenn, they've been telling me to
You
read for a
gotta,
while.
you gotta teach. But you gotta teach the children, man. You gotta pass it down. We're the only race that don't pass down anything to our kids and sit there and we gotta instill this in our kids.
Mm.
I mean, we can't keep blaming everybody else. How many more years we're gonna keep blaming everybody else? We
You're
got to
right.
take responsibility for our own actions at some
But
time.
what I'm saying, like Glenn said, all they gotta do is read. But what I'm saying is that even if you read in the school system, I've personally witnessed that they stopped talking about Malcolm X. That's what I'm
No,
saying.
but you gotta demand when you go to school. You gotta go to the parents teachers conferences You got to be involved in voting in order to make the change. You can't be on the sideline. If you're not in the game, you can't make a change.
Mm.
Let me tell you something, and I always tell people, if you're not at the table, you're on the fucking menu. If you're not at the table, you can't make changes. If you're not going to the school system, if you're not going there to your schools, your kids' schools, if you're not going to these meetings, if you're not at the you can't keep saying they don't do this, they don't do that. You got to take your you got to be responsible for your actions and make sure you go to your kid's school and say, hey, I want to speak to the principal. Why y'all not
Mm.
teaching the kids this? You know what I'm saying? It starts with all of us. You know what I'm saying? Every day you got to get out, man. I mean, we have a bad, opioid addiction. We got bad homelessness, situations, and you got to go out and make the change. You got to make the change.
Opioid addiction. Who's addicted to opioid?
A lot of people, man. A lot of people. A lot of your friends. A lot of your friends, man.
Wait, what is opioid? The little black shit?
The pills, man. Look it up. I mean, I mean, it's a lot of stuff happening, and you gotta, man. I'm gonna say it again. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. You got to be at the table, man. You got to be at the table. Got to make changes. I mean, Flip, I know we laugh and joke about everything, but sometimes it's time for us to be serious, man. And we got to stick together and really make things happen. You can't sit here and be mad at the school system because they continue to regurgitate the same stuff over and over again. You got to go to the school and say, hey, man, I demand change.
You're right.
I demand change. I want to see my kids learn something about their ancestors. I want to see my kids learn about somebody that looks like them. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody else does it. It's not being funny. You got to get out and you got to, man, I cannot say it enough to people. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And you got to be at the table. You got to sit at the table. I mean, we laugh and we joke. I'm the first person to call you and tell a bunch of jokes and laugh. But when it's time to get serious, when we're talking about Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, when we're talking about, other black leaders that came before us, I mean, you have to demand that your kids learn about this stuff.
Understood. Okay, yeah.
You have to, man. You have to. You have to. And I cannot stress how important it is to be at the table. You can't be on the sideline screaming from the sideline. You might as well get you some pom-poms and be a cheerleader. You got to be at the table. I tell people all the time, that sounds real good, screaming from all the way, up in the rafters, but you got to be at the table. You got to show up at the parents teachers meetings. You got to show up at the city council meetings. I laugh all the time when people talk about, these different laws that get passed. The laws get passed because nobody showed up at the city council meeting to fight them. The easiest thing in the world, if you want to get something past the black man, put it in the book.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
I mean, a lot of my brothers and sisters will refuse to read, refuse to get a piece of paper and sit down and take their time and read it and understand it. You know what I'm saying? When I get so mad about this business, I learned how to read contracts in my sleep. I learned how to read P&L statements when it came to this business. You know what I'm saying? I'm responsible for putting the infrastructure together for this business. And you got to learn, man. I understand, man. If you don't know the words, ask somebody. We got the internet. You can look it up. You got an iPhone. Siri, what does this mean? And get the definitions of it. Man, you got the greatest tools in the world. You got to remember, when I came up as a kid, we had encyclopedias. I think my mother and father still owe the encyclopedia company money. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we got the greatest tools in the world, but we're not using them. We use them to tell jokes and tell stories about each other all day and speculate, but we won't use them. We're not using this to really do something to help ourselves. Man, I cannot, I'll say it I'll say it again at the risk of sounding redundant. You gotta be at the table. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. Gotta learn something, man. Don't be afraid, man. Look, yo, when I first started this business in 1985, I was sitting in the house. I got a contract and I read the contract and learned the words. Yo, I'm so good at reading contracts now. I can tell you how old the person is about how old they are by reading the contract. You got, and I taught myself to do it because I didn't want a lawyer to keep telling me what this document meant. I'm like, hold on a second. I understand he went to law school. I understand all of that, but I can read and write too. And you got to be able to do it yourself. You got to get out there, man, and read and understand, what's out there. It's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that just goes right over people's heads. And then everybody's mad. Yo, how did this law get passed? The law got passed. How did this street get changed over to this? Well, they had a city council meeting. They had about 10 of them and nobody showed up. So they just passed the law. Man, Flip, you gotta encourage people. I mean, Flip, we're always, Flip, I'm the first person to tell a joke and laugh, but it's time to be serious too, man. It's really time to be serious, man. And these are trying times, man. These are trying times, man. And we just gotta, man, knowledge is king, man. Knowledge is king, man. And we can't be afraid to just learn something new. I tell everybody, I push everybody and my staff and all of them. Today I got up, it's Monday, I let everybody have it. I said, y'all gotta be the laziest dudes in the world. There's so much, because I told them, I said, you're so complacent. I told one of the guys that work with me, I said, look, you make a couple of $100,000 a year. Your girl makes a couple of $100,000. She's a school attendant. I said, but dog, you one accident away from being broke. I said, man, you got to get up. I said, we got to get up every day and hustle like we broke. We've gotten so comfortable. You know what I'm saying? We've gotten so comfortable doing stuff. Like, you see me, Flip. Every time you ask me, what's the first thing you ask me? Where you at? I'll get on the plane in a minute. If you tell me I got to be here for this movie, for this TV show, I'm up there. I work harder now than I worked when I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
Because I refuse, man, I'm going to go get it. I love to work. I'm going to go get it. Got it, man. But we got to do better, man. We got to. And got to push. And we got to push everybody. And we got to push each other. Now, you know what I'm saying, Flip? Like the hating stuff that people do. You know what the funny thing is, Flip? You have a whole bunch of people that watch your show, but won't tell you, yo, Flip, man, I watch your show. And they just hate on you. Man, there ain't nothing wrong with pushing a like and saying, man, hey, I like this.
Right. I'm with you, Uncle E. I'm with you.
Yeah, man, Flip, man, we living in a trying time, but we living in a great time. We can have everything or lose everything tomorrow, man. Let's get up and get it. Come on, Flip. I was looking at one of the comments. I was laughing because, I'm on Blue Bloods. I do Blue Bloods. I do the Goldbergs, then on tour. But, I love to work. Man, I love to work, man.
You always told me, Flip, the only time you stop working is when you're dead.
Yeah, man, I love to work, man. By the good grace of Allah, I got a great job. I'm doing what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? And my father used to have a saying, man, Allah be pleased with him. Yo, man, he was like, yo, you could be digging ditches somewhere, or hanging off a bridge, working construction, which is nothing wrong with it. But I'm doing what I want to do, music. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what you do, Flip. How many times you do it. Be good at what you do, man, and make money. Be good at it. Man, Flip, you can't be complacent, man. You saying the podcast is doing great. What about getting another podcast? Get your son's podcast. The kids are hilarious. I love to see the kids on when you get on with them. They are funnier than you.
They are.
You know what I'm saying? Get them their own show and teach them how to be. My man Deion Sanders always says in his school, he has a school, and he says, Eric, I'm not I'm not teaching people just to be the workforce. I'm building tomorrow's CEOs and presidents.
Yeah.
And I love it, man. He's like, I'm not just building. I don't want them to go to school and just get a regular job. I want them to be, I want them to be bosses.
I agree.
Man, man, you got to get out and get it, man.
I agree. I agree with you. Thank you.
Yeah. Man, got to get out and get it, man. I appreciate. Let me tell you something, Flip. I come on with you, man. We talk off the record, man. But I appreciate what you're doing, man. It's great, man. Don't let nobody stop you, man. Get out, have a good time, man. You know what I'm saying? I know you get into those kind of subjects, man, that are touchy subjects, but you gotta take the good with the bad and ride the wave out.
Mm.
You gotta ride the wave out.
Well, thank you, Uncle E. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, get out there and read, man. I've been reading, man. I read the same books, man. Read them over and over to get a better understanding. Every time I read them, I get a better understanding. I read the Quran all the time. The Quran comprises of 6,236 verses,
Wow.
128 chapters, over 600 pages. The Quran was found by the Prophet Muhammad, may Allah be pleased with him, in the 7th century. The first Quran that was ever translated over into English was in the 20th century. Man, you gotta, and I read it every day, man, and keep reading. Keep reading, man, and I learn something new every time I read it.
I'm going to keep reading it.
Yeah, keep reading, man. And I tell people, if you read the Bible, read the Bible.
It's true.
Read the Bible. Read the Bible. And if you ever talk to a person, and a lot of people say, oh, Jesus is in the Quran too. May Allah be pleased with him. He's a prophet. May Allah be pleased with him. And a lot of people don't bring that up. A lot of people, this and that. I'm like, come on, man. It's no separation, man. It is what it is. That's what you read, then read it, man.
We all one.
Yeah.
But I'm out of here, man.
Man, have a great evening, man. Love you, man. Hit me. You know where I am, man. Let's get together. I think you're getting too much money, man. You don't want to come eat dinner with me, man.
Yo, you're the first guy. I'll tell you what I learned from you. We was out eating. We don't have to really say who was with us, but we was out eating. And you said to me, yo, Flip, we don't split bills.
No, we don't do that.
And that was something that always stuck with me.
No, we don't do that.
We don't
do that. We grown men, man. We don't do that, man. If I invite you out to eat, I'm paying for it. You know what I'm saying? We don't do that, man. Grown men don't sit at the table talking about, yo, you ate the French fries, and that's embarrassing, man.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? I don't do that, man. I'll pay for everything, or you pay for everything, and let's keep it moving. We don't do that, man. Right. Grown men don't play no games like that, man. Right. You understand how corny that look? Yo, hold on, Flip. Let me see what you ordered. Hold on. Hey, yo, Flip, give me some more money, man. You ordered extra ketchup.
Yeah, you taught me that, and I never forget that.
Nah, you can't do that, man. You can't do that. Not when we out. We all out, man, as one. If I got it, you got it. And if I ain't got it, for you, we're gonna figure out how to get it.
You always said that with me, and it stuck with me. And I'll never forget that. I appreciate you, Uncle E.
All right, man. Love you,
I love
man.
you, man. Have a good night.
My brother.
Take care.